Hello, welcome to Lamb Living. My name is Holly Lamb, and we are going bronze for the Crafting Cousins Thrift Flip Road Trip. I'm here on the beautiful St. Simon's Island in the Golden Isles of the great state of Georgia, and our trees are mostly evergreen, so anything that will change color will wait until the week of Thanksgiving. So fall colors are totally up to us. And this year, I'm loving the color bronze. There is our challenge today. I am thrilled to be joining with Trish and Kay of the Crafting Cousins and Brandy from Making My Own DIYs as our special guest hosts. Their links will be in the description box below. I am taking beautiful fall colors and headed to the thrift store. And so we are flipping thrift finds. Now this came from our restore here, the Habitat for Humanity store, and I paid $5 for it. It's a beautiful frame. It has kind of a golden sheen. It was in great condition. It had a few staples there on the back that I pulled out. It didn't leave too much. You know, there might be a little bit of a divot there, but for the most part, the frame was in great condition. It already had its hanging mechanism there, and the poster itself was it was cardboard, and it was printed on cardboard, so it wasn't a great, quality piece of art, thus the price, $5. They had it originally $10, but they had it on half-off day. But the print is beautiful. The colors are perfect for my house. I decorate with a coastal feel here on St. Simon's Island, where I'm just 5 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean. And so I use shells, and lots of shells, and so I use that coral orange in most of my decorating on any given day. So that is, and of course aqua blues and things like that. So it's perfect for, it lends itself to fall. And so oranges are fabulous and go great with my decor. So all I'm going to do with this frame, I decided I would paint it that plaster by Waverly. Of course, I get all my Waverly chalk paints from Walmart. My Walmart still carries Waverly, and it's a very affordable chalk paint and gets great coverage. I end up painting this 3 coats, and then after it dries, and I don't let it dry, I let it dry overnight, but the next day you want to go back. If you want to do any distressing, you want to go ahead and distress right away. So here I flipped it over. I always do the back first. It's just a habit of mine. When I paint the underside first, and then I go for the top. And there goes another coat of the plaster chalk paint on this gold. I did not sand it down because I want to wet distress and do a little light sandpaper. There I go with my rag. I'm just using a wet rag and a baby wipe. And then I'm taking a very, very worn sanding block from the Dollar Tree. I've used this many, many times, but I do not throw them away. I keep them until they just don't have any grit left on them. And I'm using a very light worn sandpaper and a nail file to pull off some of that plaster chalk paint. I wet it first, and then I use those sanding blocks. And I'm going to do the same thing to this pedestal that you're going to see in just a few minutes. I got that one not at the restore. I got that one at a great thrift store we have here called Hello Goodbye, and it's run by St. Mark's Episcopal downtown, and they do some great work here in our local community, giving back all kinds of donations and money to those in need right here in Glenn County. Love that thrift store. So I took the white wax by Folk Art, and I waxed over my distressed chalk paint, and it gives it a little bit of an ivory look to it. Of course, we know that white wax is actually kind of a light white. And so after I give it a couple of coats of that wax and then rub it back off and kind of buff up where I did the distressing so that gold will come back through, I come back and I start taking the frog tape. I use frog tape instead of the blue painter's tape, And of course, frog tape is painter's tape. And so I thought, it's going to be fine. Well, this is not a canvas. Like I said before, it's a cardboard poster, basically. So it did take up a little bit. You see my husband in there kind of pointing out some things as well. That it did take off a little bit of the print. But I kind of mulled over what I was going to do, as we crafters do. And I went upstairs and I got my Antique Wax by Full Cart. And I decided I would just go in and put some antique wax on that. I thought maybe paint. But as you can see there, this little poster, this cardboard print, has a little bit of a sheen to it. So I thought paint would be too matte. And I didn't have any satin brown paint, so I decided to go in with the antique wax, and then I'm wiping any wax I got on the white wax off with a baby wipe there from Dollar Tree. And so then, since some of it still looks a little bit too matte where I antique waxed it, which you can't tell, the color looks fantastic. The antique wax did the job. It was great. But you could tell the sheen was off on those couple little spots that was on our landscape. Now, this landscape is going to go in the back of my little fall vignette that I'm making, my little beautiful bronze decor. And so it is going to be, it's a background setting, but I still wanted it to look nice, and I didn't want to be able to see the sheen of it. So I took that matte Mod Podge, and we all know, if you've used matte Mod Podge, there it is. Doesn't it look beautiful? I just love, love, love this landscape. And that distressed white chalk paint. And there's that the plaster chalk paint with white wax again. That pedestal I got from Hello Goodbye and the Apple Basket. And yellow stickers mean half price. So I ended up paying $2.50 for that set. And look at this beautiful centerpiece I make. I've got pine cones in it there, but you could put anything in that. You could put flowers. You could put apples. You could put, I made some chalked fruit a couple of months ago in one of my videos for my summer decor. You could put those chalked fruits in there, and they would look fantastic. And so I am doing the same treatment on this as I did on the frame. Plaster chalk paint, and you can actually, to my right there, you can see the frame is drying, and that's kind of how I do. I paint, and then I wax, and then I paint, and then I wax. And while something's drying, I'm painting something else. So I try to make a use of my time there. You can see that I'm doing half of that basket in the white wax. I did not paint it. I wanted that beautiful wood to come through, but I didn't want it so dark. I wanted to soften that the wood grain of that basket, the reeds that they made that basket with. And so I'm just white waxing and then wiping it off. And I try to go up and down on the vertical slats and side to side on those horizontal slats. There, go horizontally, so that all the white wax goes with the grain. All right, so I take it outside after I get 3 coats. 3 coats seems to be my magic number for plaster chalk paint when I want to cover something. And I love distressing glass painted by chalk paint because it gets this dark, shiny kind of distressing. And you can see there's almost like a belt of a really neat design there I'm working on with my nail file. And I'm bringing out that beautiful design on this glass pedestal that I paid very little for. And there I go. And I'm just pulling out some of the darkness from the glass. And I didn't need to paint the inside of that because I'm going to be gluing with hot glue and, I can't think of it off the top of my head, the glue Fix-All adhesive that you get at the dollar store. And so here I go. I have everything all white waxed. You can see I didn't need to do the bottom of the basket because that's also going to be in the pedestal. There I go with the wax. Okay, whoops, I haven't waxed yet. So I'm putting white wax on the chalk paint that I've distressed, and you can see that beautiful distress there. Look at that. How the chalk paint and the sanding takes off that beautiful, shows that beautiful design. All right, so now I have my everything chalked. I have put a collection of rice and beans, dried rice and beans, and there's the Fix All adhesive, yes, by Super Glue. You get that in the dollar store over by the in the automotive section. And then I'm using Gorilla Glue Sticks, which I get at Walmart, for this because I want it to stay. And so I'm using those rice and beans as a weight to hold that glue in place while that Fix All adhesive sets. Now I will use mostly this adhesive, and I put my gloves on there because I don't want to get it on my fingers. And I then put just a couple of dabs of hot glue just for a quick fix. And then I'm going to push that basket and kind of mold it down into that glass container, that glass pedestal. And I have the beginnings of a beautiful centerpiece. I have the base. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And it goes with my landscape picture frame and that big burlap bow that we're going to be putting on a bronze wreath that I'm going to make in this video. And it just makes a lovely addition to our fall decor. Okay, Rust-Oleum. Let's spray paint. Let's head out into the backyard to my spray paint table and take our Rust-Oleum metallic finish bronze outside. And so you see I've got Toby out there with me, always, always. He's sitting outside my craft room door right now, awaiting me coming out. And I got this wreath. This wreath is plastic through and through. And except for those, I think those pine cones are real. But you can see the plastic. All the greenery, all the florals, plastic. I found it in the Goodwill bins at the Goodwill outlet. And so I paid very little for this. Of course, you pay by the pound, 89 cents a pound at the bins. And I got several things at the bins. I love to go over there and just dig. And so I take it all apart and I spread it out in one of my boxes. Now, this box, interestingly enough, we just got back today before I'm making this voiceover from, there's that beautiful Rust-Oleum bronze. I'm going to use that whole can for this video today. Okay, we just got back from Jacksonville. My daughter, of course, as you know, if you've watched my videos, she is getting married next October. Not this October, but next. So we have a year. And so we went wedding dress shopping today. We went to 2 shops in Jacksonville. And she did say yes to the dress. She did find her dress, her gorgeous dress with a long veil. And so it's funny that... there we go. That box right there actually was holding my wedding dress. And so I use it as my spray paint box. Okay, so this little jack-o'-lantern, we're going to make two-sided. And so that inside right there, and you can see I paid $1 for it. Blue stickers are regular price, so I did pay $1 for this. It's a Wilton cake pan. And I'm going to spray this side bronze. And I'm flipping all those over because I'm going to get the other side. And spray that side bronze. And the other side, we're going to do something for Halloween. And so I'll show you a little bit of that in this video, but not all of it because I'm going to save the rest of it for a Halloween decor. I do a little bit of Halloween decorating at my house because it's fun, but I don't do anything gory or scary or too creepy. There's our, oh my goodness, I love that bronze. Alrighty. So I'm just going to get my Halloween decoration started here and show you how I'm going to make it two-sided. I'm not going to finish it in this video, like I say, but I will get it started. So there goes the plaster chalk paint. I think I ended up doing maybe just one coat on that because I don't really need it to be solid because I am decoupaging. Look at these adorable, this is about as creepy as I get Halloween-wise, is this cute little crow and the creepy potion bottle. I contemplated leaving off the spiders. I almost did. I love the cursive writing, you know, the black and white writing. I love that and did mostly, I tore out, of course I always tear my decoupage napkins. So it gets a good finish when you put the Mod Podge on. But I love this writing. I may just tear up these napkins. I keep these out. I'm not putting these away with my Halloween decor. I may keep these out just for the cool writing because I can't read it. I don't know what it says. It's probably something creepy. But nobody's going to be reading it. So I almost left those spiders off. But no, it's all right. I put them on there. It's Halloween. It's okay. So I go ahead and cover that, and I a lot of people like to use saran wrap. It works great. I've done that before. But honestly, I like to just use my dry finger. I put the napkin on, and then I dab, dab, dab. I like to feel it myself. And then I come back in with my little sponge brush and dab a little Mod Podge on. And so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back with my very worn nail file that I've been using on the landscape painting frame and for the glass pedestal. And I'm going to go down from the napkin side to the bronze side, because I don't want to scrape off any of the bronze, because we're going to keep that a little secret for Halloween, because it's still September. It's not time for Halloween decorating yet. I'm still fall decorating right now. So that little springform pan, it was a Copper King, and I did not do anything to it. It came straight from the bins, the Goodwill bins like that. Oh my goodness, it looks fantastic. Now I'm going to take that jumbo Jenga piece that I got at Ross one time. They had them on clearance, a couple of games. I got a few of them. They're a little bit bigger than the tumbling tower blocks, and I'm going to glue it with hot glue to that nonstick springform pan. Now I've stuck a little bit of hot glue up there on the top, and I'm going to show you how easy it pops off, because I will be able to pop this off after Halloween. There it goes. Boom. It's popped off. And if I move this at all, it will easily pop off. And so I've got to kind of be careful. I took some sticky tack, some of that silly putty that I use in my classroom to put things on our cinder block walls. And I just put that decoupage side into that sticky tack, so it's not going to pull off the napkin. It's going to keep it nice and secure on my nonstick pan. And you're going to see that I use that burlap bow, but it likes to come off that sticky tack too. This nonstick pan really is nonstick. I was having some trouble with it there, but doesn't it look cute? I just put one of those little stems on it and he's a pumpkin himself. My goodness. All right, so now we're back to our wreath. Now, you should have seen me one day at the bins. I was collecting in one of the bins. They had these dried florals, dried grasses, I don't know, two colors. There was kind of a reddish color and that brownish color, these reeds. And so they were spread all throughout this bin. And I was picking it out piece by piece. People thought I was probably crazy and picking these out, and thought all that was probably trash. But no. That weighs nothing. I probably paid pennies for that. And look at those dried florals. So I'm going to take my bronze, now bronze, beautifully bronze, plastic wreath there. I'm going to pop those pieces back in the holes just the way they came. There's a few pieces missing, and so I'm going to kind of evenly spread them out, leaving a hole at the bottom for this big bow that I'm going to make out of some mesh I got at Michael's. And I'm only going to take the red pieces. I'm going for the bronze color. I'll save those brown pieces for something else. And so I'm pulling those red pieces out, and I'm going to tell you, this was a weird textured project for me. I thought I would go back and kind of trim it, but no, I kind of like the wild about it. Okay, so I decided it looked a little Christmassy because of the bronze, and there were some holly leaves in there, and there was some, of course, the pine cones. So I decided it needed some leaves. So the Dollar Tree has fabulous leaves this year. Those maple leaves come in blue and in purple, and of course the regular fall colors, and then this white with a little bit of a pink sheen was perfect for our bronze wreath here. And you're going to see in a few minutes I am going to spray paint a few of my pine cones, and so that's a few more of my pine cones that my 5th grader gathered for me over in my neighborhood and used in my last video when I made a pine cone wreath. I'm all about pine cones these days. And so I put those bronze painted pine cones in there to bulk it up a little bit with my leaves, and this is stunning. Once I put this humongous, I trimmed it just ever so slightly so I didn't have any crazy things sticking out too much. I do like it sticking out though. Now that celebrated mesh burlap. It's not burlap. It's actually mesh, but it looks like burlap. Came from Michael's. I would turn the corner at Michael's one day, and they had these humongous rolls for $3 each. I was floored. I actually took them up to the register to have him check on it, and the lady said, yes, they're clearance for $3. So I stocked up. You know how we are. So I'm going to take some zip ties, and I'm going to do an interesting bow here. This is very large, and I wanted it big. I wanted it to be, I like big things. So I'm going to take and make a poof, a very large poof with my mesh here, and zip tie it. Then I'm going to make the equal size poof on the other side and zip tie it right next to that one and pull it tight. So I have two beside one another. I'm going to take another zip tie and zip tie the two zip ties together to make them into the beginnings of my bow. And now I have two big puffs and two tails. So I'm going to dovetail my tails. There it goes. I'm just going to eyeball it. It's going to curl up pretty good, so you're not even going to see if that's even. It looks pretty even, but it didn't have to be. And I'm going to take that little extra piece of scrap, because that's just good as gold to me. I don't like to waste much. And I'm going to zip tie that. There goes another zip tie. Right there in the middle. So that's going to be like the middle of our bow. There it was. It was being feisty on me. And there it goes. I fought it for a little while and won. And so I'm going to trim all that up. And then I'm going to put one more zip tie, but I'm not going to zip this one tight. This is going to be the holder for the bow that I'm going to use to put it onto my wreath, because I've left a little bit of space at the bottom, and I'm going to let this humongous, beautiful, and I'm saying in quotation marks, burlap bow, because it's mesh, but it looks fantastic. There's no gold to it. There's no shimmery or anything. It is very matte and beautiful, so it goes beautifully with our bronze wreath. And isn't that something? The textures, the levels, the humongous big flowing bow. It is really quite the showstopper in my piano room. That's where I'm doing my little vignette on top of my curio cabinet, right beside my grand piano, where I sit and listen to kids play the piano when I teach piano lessons on weekday afternoons. All right, so I'm back outside, and you can see I have my other side to my wedding dress box, and I found this basket at Hello Goodbye. They have great baskets there. It looks like an apple. It was $3, but again, yellow stickers are half off, so I got this in the half off section and paid $1.50 for it. And when I turned it upside down, I thought, yes, that could be an apple, but by golly, that could be a pumpkin. So I decided we're going to give this a coat. I'm about halfway through that can of bronze metallic Rust-Oleum, and I, of course, did a few pine cones there, and almost out. And I went ahead and put a couple of coats of the bronze on that basket. And we're going to just set it up on its side. And it's going to be a basket for a couple of months. And then I'm going to be able to pop that stem off. Those are, of course, the stems from Dollar Tree. I stocked up on those as well, because I went through a dry spell last spring without these stems and was kind of bummed out about it during my spring decor. So I stocked up on those. But I'm going to be able to pop that off easily. You know how glue guns are. I'm downstairs in my piano room, so I'm using my low temp glue gun that is cordless. And so it does not get hot, so it is easy to pop things off. Now, I collect tins. And so whenever I see baking tins, I'm also a baker. I love to decorate cakes. And whenever I see tins, I pick them up. And so I got those for $1 each. And I'm going to put one of those stems on the top, and they are turning into pumpkins. I did nothing to them, because I will expect to pop off those stems and make them back into Jell-O molds again, and use them in other ways. But right now, for the next couple of months, like this basket, they're going to be pumpkins. And so I just use a little bit of twine. I wrap around the base of my little peduncle, my little stem there, and then I tie just a messy bow. I think I just do a knot with it's the end of one of those twine rolls at the automotive section of Dollar Tree. And so it's nice and curly, just naturally. And so I'm going to put those right there. And there's the basket up on his side, happily looking like a pumpkin. And there's my little Jello mold pumpkins. I love them so. You can see there on my craft paper, I have traced those Jello molds with just a pencil. And I'm going to make a little riser for the pumpkins. They look like they needed something there on my curio cabinet. So I'm just going to take, I told you I have tons of these. So I'm going to take my low temp glue gun, and I'm going to be using some glue on this. And I'll be able to take this apart if I need to. But right now, they're doing a good job as risers for my Jello mold pumpkins. I didn't want to put them, I thought about putting them on little pedestals or little bowls or something to raise them up a little higher, but I wanted my landscape to show through, and you can see that beautiful landscape from that picture from the Restore is just complementing all those coppers and bronzes and the wood stems. It just all seems to be going together. I love it so much. And there we go, our basket pumpkin in golden and that beautiful bronze, and then our Jello mold pumpkins. All right, now I am precariously up on my very own little ladder, and I am going to fix this landscape picture. It is leaning just a wee bit too much for me, so I am going to fix and finagle a little bit of I don't want to say a riser, but it certainly is a spacer, so that it will sit up just a little bit on the top of my curio cabinet. I'm not going to hang it because I am going to hang this wreath kind of catty on top of the curio cabinet so that the landscape is also a focal point. And so there is that beautiful bronze wreath from the Goodwill bins. Most of that's from the Goodwill bins. Of course, the leaves are from Dollar Tree, and a clearance sale at Michael's was where I got that mesh. And there's our landscape, and there's my little portable glue gun. All right, so I'm going to use one of those picture stands. I use those for books at school. And I'm going to use that for my little jack-o'-lantern, who's hiding a little secret on the other side of him for another month. I will be revealing that cute side with the crow on it soon. And then there goes my basket and my little molds, and they are shining and looking glorious over there. All right, now I'm going to use, you can just barely see, you can tell I have this up high. Those are just from the wood pile at Hobby Lobby. A couple of got those on 40% off. Oh, and there's our beautiful, oh boy, there's that sticky tack not wanting to hold on to that burlap bow. We're going to make it work. I take out all my weights out of my basket. It is dry. That Fix-All adhesive works just like E6000. I love it. It doesn't smell as bad though. So it is my preference for the stronghold. And I'm going to put some more of my pine cones. I also have some sweet gum seed pods. We called those gumballs when I was a kid. I put those in front of my jack-o'-lantern just for a little bit of texture there. They have cute little stems, and I processed those in the turkey bags in the oven along with my pine cones in the last video. And a little candle. And there's the star of the show, our Rust-Oleum bronze metallic finish. And I just love it. Okay, please make sure to go by and in my description box and check out Trish and Kay and the Crafting Cousins. And that is Brandy from Making My Own DIYs. She is our guest host. And I just want to leave you with fantastic a scripture, but I'm going to say please like and subscribe to my channel, and I thank you for all of you who have done that. I really appreciate that. And look how pretty all those things are. Oh my goodness, my fall bronzy vignette has come together. I love it. And that wreath, I can transform that into Christmas. I did not glue those leaves in. I did glue in the dried florals, but those leaves will come right out of there. Beautiful. Oh, I just love them so much. All right, I want to leave you with a scripture that gives me comfort. John 15:16 says, I hope you will find, says, you did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and produce fruit, and that your fruit should remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give you. I hope that you will find comfort and strength in God our Father, Christ our Savior, and in the Holy Spirit who guides us every day. From the blue house on the corner with a beautiful bronze glow, God bless you and keep you close. Until next time.